So every time we talk about a person and we say, huh, you know the person? I was like, yeah, I know the person very well. Oh, Aptiya, okay. What do you know? That person can do this, they work here, that's it. We get stuck. After that, we don't really know the person. The person who's sitting right next to me is one such person. If I name her, I'm sure all of you are going to say, oh, she is damn hot. She's so good. She's a bloody good singer and all this. But Apriya, you know her so much. So what else do you know about her? Then everybody kind of go like, blank. And that's exactly how I feel about her. When the little bit I've gotten to know about her, I've always wondered why nobody knows this side of her, why nobody talks this side about her. And as and when I got to meet her, talk to her, and kind of know her, I became even more a bigger fan of hers. And so hopefully, I think we'll uncover the enigma that she is, Andrea Jeremiah, today in this podcast, ABCDD, the podcast. So hi, Andrea.
Hi.
How
Long
are you?
time.
Yes. How are you?
Same as always.
Last time Andrea told me, is like, Didi, I don't want to see your face hereafter in any concert, okay? And I'm like, okay, Andrea, I'm not going to see you in
But
it.
this is allowed.
Yeah, this is allowed. So I think I stayed true to my promise, Ilya.
I know, as did I.
Yeah, yes. So, Andrea, you have a very nice name. But industry has anybody advised you should change your name anytime?
Well, I guess there are pros and cons. This way, I'm probably the only Andrea that ever existed in Tamil cinema in the past, present, and future. Maybe if I had changed my name, people would have seen me differently, and I may have gotten more work or better work. Lots of people don't even believe I'm from Chennai. Nerivati, if I go for a recording and I ask for the song lyrics in Tamil, உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் தெரியுமா படிக்க தெரியுமா நீங்க சென்னையில இருந்தா so I always get these reactions. Apparently I'm from Bombay, from Italy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's quite fascinating, the number of places I'm from. But no, I never thought about changing my name though.
no.
But here's a story though.
Yeah, please give me a story.
My mom never wanted to name me Andrea.
Why?
She wanted to name me Nadine.
Okay, Nadine.
Like not Nadia, which
I
is...
know, Nadine. I had a teacher called Nadine.
Yeah,
UKG.
My aunt said if you name her Nadine, they will call her Sardine in school. Sardine enna theriyula, and the mean, that fish. And it's not a normal fish, it's a smelly fish. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's full of omegas, but it's very smelly. So my aunt told her, they'll call her Sardine in school. Why do you want to put that poor child through all that trauma? So at the last minute, they decided to name me Andrea.
Oh.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
So இதுக்கே பேர் மாத்தணுமான்னு யோசிச்சா Nadine
வேண்டா Andrea, okay. Andrea, okay.
Exactly.
எங்க எல்லாருக்கும் Andrea. We really like that name, Andrea, and I think it's very cool, nice name. Like you said, there's not going to be another Andrea in Tamil cinema industry. I don't know. We can hope for one. That's not, very wrong. But yeah. So tell me something about your child. Something, because we don't. Tell me about your family, general.
Well, my family is a nuclear family, family of 4.
Okay.
I have a sister. She lives in France. And I grew up in Arakonam, which is a fun fact again that people get shell-shocked when they hear about
Arakonam,
it. Arakonam, Andrea.
Arakonam, Andrea.
It's got a nice. That should have been my name in cinema.
Yes, Arakonam, Andrea. I
Tappu
know.
pannittom.
It's okay. It's not too late.
It's not too late. Yeah. So I grew up in Arakonam until I was like 7 or so, and I moved to Chennai in my 3rd standard. So yeah, 7.5, 8-ish on the Vaislada. And I have such great memories of Arakonam.
Really?
When I think of my childhood, that's my happiest. Yeah, because my grandma had this house with a big garden, and we had mango trees, and she had a what is it? Like, it's not a blackberry. No, it's not blackberry. what is that? Mulberry tree. Yes.
Okay.
There was a mulberry tree in my grandma's garden.
In Arakonam?
In Arakonam.
Wow.
And in my other grandma's garden, there was a tamarind tree, sapota tree, and all my male cousins would get this big tire and make a swing out of it.
Okay.
We used to do all these things. And I used to walk through the fields of Arakonam with my grandma. And
What's your grandma's name?
Jenny.
Jenny. Okay.
Genevieve, but we used to call her Jenny.
Jenny, okay.
She's no more. But yeah, so all my favorite happy memories are in that house, in that time in my life.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Chennai, apartment, I hated it.
So all your cousins were back in Arakonam?
No, we all used to congregate at, Christmas or summer holidays.
Do you have a favorite cousin? Let's make some politics.
Why?
சும்மா சும்மா
சொன்னாலும் உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது அப்புறம் எதுக்கு கேள்வி
அவங்களுக்கு தெரியல the cousins who are watching.
My cousins don't watch any film related things. If you ask them to name 3 films of mine, they won't even be able to do that. They won't even, probably not even one film.
Really?
If you ask them to name a co-star, maybe they'll be like, didn't you do a film with Kamal Hassan? அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க.
Oh God.
அதை தாண்டி they are very clueless and disconnected, and I like it that way.
Okay. Let's keep it that way.
Keep it that way.
Okay. So I had this question, okay, it's like if you can take one part of your whole life and relive, what would that be? Probably it's your childhood, or do you have another answer for that?
Relive it the same way, or like make some drastic changes and
Okay.
be a whole new person
No, relive it the same way. We'll do the drastic change next time.
next podcast. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely my happy childhood Arakonam days.
Arakonam.
No, actually, after I moved to Chennai and I got over the apartment sorrows, like it's a lot, man. Imagine
You can't kind of depress people who are living in apartments.
even I live in an apartment. Okay.
Yeah. So you can't just come in like a Arakonam princess and say, you people in Chennai live in an apartment, you have a sad life. I mean, we only know that
We
sad
all
life.
have sad lives. Every time I look at someone who has a house with a garden, I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky. But no, after I got over that,
Yeah, okay.
apartment, whatever, then I started all my music lessons.
Okay.
So that was a great time in
So
my
till
life.
7, I thought you must have been a child prodigy.
No, honestly, this is the story actually. My musical talents would never have been tapped into if my sister had not gotten jaundice as a child. I will tell you the connection.
Thank you,
But-
sister.
Yeah.
All her fans are going to thank you, but I'm so sorry you got jaundice at a very young age and she's
Yeah.
milked it.
So when we were in Arakonam, my sister had a very bad case of jaundice. Okay, she was really, really sick.
Now she's fine, right?
Now she's
Yeah,
totally
okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at that time, so to cheer her up, my parents gave her this big doll. And they didn't want me to feel left out, so they bought me one toy keyboard.
Okay.
Okay. So one of my mom's mom used to play the piano. So she would come and teach me Mary Had a Little Lamb, Mother Lakshman on the toy keyboard. Apparently, I was a quick learner. And then that was one of the reasons my mom decided that, okay, we better move to Chennai because there are no real music teachers in Arakonam. So I would have just been running in the fields for the rest of my life if I had not moved to Chennai. God. Yeah.
Okay, thank God you moved
It
to
would have
Chennai.
been good training for Tamil cinema, but apart from that, my music.
You
Okay.
can't.
I just said that, yes.
Yes, you can't say that loud. Andreas did. Okay. Let's move on. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's supposedly one of the reasons. And also my dad is a lawyer. He was working at the High Court. It's quite a commute to Arakonam every day. So poor man, I think moving to Chennai was also for him.
Yeah.
And then started the great era of my music lessons, which is definitely the highlight of my life, my childhood. I tell a lot of people, like, I have so much free time now. When I was young, I was like a CEO. Like, I had no time to play. I had no time for anything.
CEO.
I
as
was
in she had to go to school.
Yeah.
She had to go to her tuition. She had to go to her piano classes or singing or whatever.
Yeah. And then
all of the CEO.
Hello?
Hello?
You have no idea. Time management was so important when we were kids because school irukuma, then school extracurricular activities irukuma. And I was a very good student. So, I was also studying well.
Okay.
Yeah, which normally doesn't happen. So,
Everything she has her own and the word philosophy. It won't happen. But it happened.
Hey, it's true.
Okay.
Because nowadays, my sister, she ended up studying a lot and doing a PhD.
Okay.
So people will look at us and say, oh, so she's the smart one and you're the pretty one.
That's very
that's
mean
not
thing to
true.
say.
And it's mean.
That's a mean thing to say as well.
Exactly.
You shouldn't say that.
People are idiots.
Yeah.
That's normal. It's fine.
என் பாட்காஸ்ட் பார்க்குற அந்த 4 பேரை அவங்க சொல்லல. So my dear people, if you have just tuned into my podcast, please stay back. I like you. You're not that person. You're not those people.
No, come on. We had a lot of weird things being told to us. And
I know.
so, what was I? Where were we?
Yeah, like that's a mean thing to say that you're the pretty one and she's the smart one just because she's finished her PhD and you're here.
Yeah, exactly. So so I had school, then I would have extracurricular activities. Then we used to do shows on stage. So we would have rehearsals till like 8 p.m.
So you used to go
Then
to
I would come back home, sleep, wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. and then do my homework and things like that. Then go to school. Excuse me, tell me now, that's not a busy life or what?
Yeah, that's an average school-going kid's life in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. They have multiple tuitions and their life is always
Maybe
things
I
like
just
this.
have too much free time as an adult.
Yeah.
I miss that life.
Yeah, that's very fair enough.
It was it was fun in its own bizarre.
Appu வந்து it could have been a little more taxing, but now you
I never felt that it was taxing because all of these things were
You
things that I
loved.
enjoyed doing. So that was the
So
fun part.
like you were like a culturals like you were like the rock star
I
kind
used
of
to
thing.
go for all the culturals. I used to sing.
That's one of the best parts in
of
when you're
going to
in
school, right?
Yeah,
I went to an
culturals.
all-girls convent school, and I was so upset because
Chennai?
In Chennai,
Okay.
because when you have all girls, the best thing you can do is create a choir. So we were singing "The Hills Are Alive" and all those songs,
Can I
and
do-
these co-ed schools will come with their freaking drummers and guitarists, and they'll always win.
Yeah. Can I tell you one fun fact about me? I also studied in a all-girls convent school run by nuns, proper
Yeah,
nun.
yeah,
like
yeah.
they were my my principal and my office sister and everybody. And I used to be in chorus.
See, no, it's great.
So I mean, I have some nerve to tell that to you, but then I used to be. Why are you laughing, Andre?
I'm not. I'm laughing. I'm just smiling. I'm going to ask you to sing now.
I will sing.
See?
Yeah, I will sing.
I'm
but
sure
only
you
like
sing well
Yeah.
also. All those years of singing in the choir.
Till school. Then, and the best thing is that we didn't have to go and, fail with those boys, from other school who had drummers, because from Don Bosco, they used to come wherever. We all are the Salesian convent. So what our principal did was like, best don't go. Don't go. What? Because you're not going to win. Don't go. And there's boys there. Don't go. So we never went to any culturals.
That's really sad. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Let's move on.
That's really sad, man.
Yeah.
You guys have just missed out on a whole chunk of life.
Yeah. I've heard from other schoolgirls, we went to culturals, we went Asan Memorial came and, Don Bosco. I used to look at my sister this side of the
And I used to get really upset about the fact
that, that
they had that edge. Maybe now there are a lot of girl bands, but back then,
no, yeah.
So,
I can so
after
relate
my
to it.
10th, I fought with my parents. I want to go to co-ed school.
Oh.
And I picked Lady Andal.
Oh.
Because they had the best band.
Wow. That's
No other reason.
That's very brilliant of you, Andrea.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes even I'm amazed. I was like, I was so clear-headed in my...
Yes,
You know
you
how
are.
people apply for 3-4 schools? I applied only to one.
One.
I was like, that's it. That's the school I'm going to. It's over.
Okay.
No
and
option
you got into
B.
it.
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah. Then I had even more exposure at cultures. But the flip side is, up until my 10th grade, when I was looking at music as a hobby, and my parents were very happy with that, like usual parents. Once I had this extra exposure from all these cultures,
Upgraded version
upgraded
of
version 2.0 version of
version of,
culturals,
culturals and band. Yeah.
Then I was like, maybe music is not a hobby. Maybe it's the real
Thing for you.
Yeah.
It's your calling. kind of thing.
Exactly. So then I decided to focus entirely on that and not study to be a doctor.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Okay. So let's talk about your individual tours. Like
My shows.
your
with the
shows.
band.
Yeah, with your band. Because right now, I don't think there's another singer who's doing her own show. அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய பேர் இல்லை. And
There are a few. There are a
but
few.
not many of them. We have a lot of female singers. I mean,
Yeah.
so many great ones with such amazing
Yeah.
songs. But Andrea, you on that stage, you know, you're like a whole different person. You're like possessed.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you're like possessed in a nice way.
Like an alter ego.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like she owns the stage, and when she's on, and what I like about you owning the stage, you know, up until that, getting into that edge of the stage, like backstage la irukra varaikku, you'd be like, hey, what's happening, man? Yeah, what are they getting paid for singing this? And I'm like, Andrea, you can't.
I didn't say that. This is why I told you I don't want to see you backstage anymore. Now do you understand? Huh? This is worse than me saying I'm running in the fields for preparing for Tamil cinema.
So, I mean, she'll say some random things like this, and then she'll go on stage, she'll be like, அப்படியே ஃபுல்லா she'll change, and she'll like, அப்படி பயங்கர டிவாவாஸ், அப்படியே செக்ஸியா, அப்படி அழகா, ஹாட்டா, பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா, என்ன குரல்பா, she'll be like, she'll mesmerize us. And once she's off stage, like, hey, what? Remove this boots for me. I get over it. I'm like, okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
I usually walk to the stage with flip-flops
Yeah.
and change immediately afterwards.
And I've seen at the same time, I've seen other singers, they'd be like,
Doing warm-ups. Well, I'm eating
let me.
cupcakes. Oh, you're going to enact it?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So this is Didi, okay, you're sitting. So you're a singer. I'm sitting at the side stage. இங்க ஸ்டேஜ்ல என்னமோ நடக்குது, okay, you have like 10 minutes. What do you do if there's some human being sitting here? You say hi. If you don't know the person,
Just smile.
okay, so it's me. That person is like, என்ன பண்றாங்க, ஜபகீபம் பண்றாங்களா, ஒன்றும் புரியல எனக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி அவ்வளோ சீரியஸா இருப்பாங்க, அண்ட் யாரோடையுமே பேச மாட்டாங்க. பட் தென் அங்க உள்ள பாடும்போது ஓகே தான், இவ்வளோதானே பாட்டு, அதுக்கு எவ்வளோ, அந்த மாதிரி சம்டைம்ஸ் தோணும். பட் சில சிங்கர்ஸ்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது வாவ். அண்ட் சீனியர் சிங்கர்ஸ் எடுத்துக்கிட்டா கூட சித்ரா மாமா, தில் பி லைக் சோ குவாய்ட், யூனோ. உதித் நாராயணன் சார்ல நான் ஒரு வாட்டி பேக் ஸ்டேஜ் பார்த்துருக்கேன். Hey, Udit sir, அப்படி நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு இல்லை, ஏன்னா we don't get to see them
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they're from Hindi singing, main அவங்க they sing that. So if you say வணக்கம், he'll be like, வணக்கம், நமஸ்தே, and he'll be like, sir, இவ்வளோ இது வேணாம் sir, please, I have nobody. But they're so good, and on stage also they're so good. So how do you feel when you're on stage?
Well, honestly, even if I'm like doing all of those things, there's always still a bit of little butterflies in my stomach every time I go on stage.
That's for everybody, I guess,
If it
right?
doesn't happen, then
Yeah.
there's, something's
That's
wrong.
when you do all this extracurricular activities backstage, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But once I'm on stage, there's two, then it's like split screen Madhuri. One person is focused on delivering, and because it's all about, energy give and take, a lot of energy give and take. And on the other side, I'm also constantly analyzing.
Yeah.
Like, is this working?
Working, yeah.
Yeah. So
Are they enjoying it?
Yeah,
And
and
there will
if
be
they're
certain-
not, what can I do to rev it up?
Yeah.
To up it, So that very rarely, sometimes you're just in that magical, perfect moment when everything is just so fluid that it just flips into that one extremely being present in the moment. That also happens sometimes, and it's the most magical feeling in the world.
Yeah, true. But then getting your own show, that must have not been that easy, right? Or was it easy for you?
I won't
Because
say-
nobody else is going to come and give it to you. You have to do that.
You have to earn it.
You have to create it as well.
Yeah, you
Not
have
just earning it. Yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that unlike most singers, I have a background in instrument. I studied the piano. I really, really studied. I did exams. I did all of those things. So all of that happened in my childhood, and it laid a very strong foundation for me. So when it came to performing with my band, it's easier for me to interact with musicians because I know.
What is what and
Yeah.
how to get
Yeah,
things
I'm
done.
not like some great pro or anything like that, but I know enough to
Get
communicate.
going, yeah.
I know enough to get what I want out of them. That's so we're able to communicate better as musicians. That's one great thing, and beyond that, some things are just. There's no explanation for that. Some things you don't know how you know, but you just know it.
Yeah.
You know?
It just happens.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all.
what's your most favorite show, like till now, up until now you've done, or like some nice memory, or like when you look back, did I really do that? Something like that on stage.
Yeah, there was
Any
a
particular show in
There was
some
a
country?
show that we did very much in India, in Trichy, in 22 December,
Okay.
and it was on Moray City. It was the biggest, and I had not. I had taken like a sabbatical, I think, for a while. I had not done any solo shows because I had just been focusing on film work for those 2 years, and. I remember I got ready and I was going, and on the way there was a lot of traffic. So I was like, "Bro, what is going on? Where are all these people going?" And then my manager's like, "Ma'am, they're coming for your show." I was like, "What? Are you serious?
Are you serious? Like,
Yeah,
why are you
because I'm used to performing for 5,000, 6,000, and there was some 30,000 or maybe more. I don't know. It was like that.
chock-a-block kind of thing? Yeah.
And the same thing happened at Karakuri. No, Karekal. Sorry, Karekal. That was last year. Again, some 45,000 people. It was a carnival for them. But it was really sweet because as soon as the show got over, we couldn't leave the venue because it was like, again, like one massive traffic jam. So when those things happen, I really feel, like one of my friends said, "Babe, you're the closest to Beyonce that they'll ever get." So, it's, I guess, all the other singers that you mentioned that are really gifted, very, very brilliant singers. But maybe for me, I'm that one person who brings them a different cultural experience.
Yeah, true, very
You know?
true. Yeah.
It's because I'm so infused with Western music and culture in the way I dress or the way I carry myself on stage. And for them, maybe that's the phenomenon.
The new experience that they
That's
get.
the experience that they get with me on stage. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah, that's very nice also, that they embrace it and they love it and they shower you so much of love, and
Yeah.
when they give you that time, you feel so responsible for it, right?
Definitely. I always tell my boys, it's the only job we have on stage is to make sure the audience has a great time. I don't care if our in-ears are not working or what technical glitches we have. They shouldn't get to know any of that. They're coming for an experience. We need to give them that experience. That's about it.
So now if you have to look back into your life, okay, and every decade you have to rate yourself for 10. And how would you rate yourself, and what would the things you wanted to change or you don't want to change, you want to keep it closed? It's just
Well,
an
honestly,
open question.
yeah. It's interesting. I was thinking about that just the other day also. As I mentioned, until I was like a student, I was like very busy, high functioning individual. No time to think. And then in my very early 20s, just out of college, I got literally thrown into the film industry. It was not by choice. And I don't come from a film background.
So
And
particularly Muthucharam was your first film.
yeah, it was my first film. So ever since, like my whole 20s was just me, how do I say, groping around and finding my way and trying to make sense of this ecosystem that is so different from, you know, my own life and the kind of ecosystem I have been used to.
Yeah.
Because it is very different.
Yes, yes.
It's extremely different. As I mentioned, my family is so detached from it. So there was, no connection between my life and film. So there was a lot of struggles with that within myself. And it took me a long time to come to terms with being a part of the industry, especially as an actor.
Yeah, and you had to change a lot of your thought process,
Exactly,
your philosophies,
exactly.
your understanding.
Yeah.
Everything had to be changed.
Because
right?
because you are functioning at a certain wavelength, and then you realize this industry functions in this way, and you have to find a meeting
Balance.
point, or you have to find a way to really like separate the two.
So, what did you find a meeting point, or did you separate it?
My
into
meeting
two?
point is that I guess I'm not a person who just keeps taking projects, I work with people, at least in the past few years, the people I work with is very important to me. If we can have creative differences, we can have fights on set. All of that is irrelevant. That is besides the point. That's just what happens when you're working with people But, you need to be in the same zone, the way you think. I can't, as they say, leave your brain behind and go to work. That's very difficult for me to do. And I've made my peace with that. It means saying no to a lot of stuff.
You're very choosy as well, and you're very particular of doing this, not doing that. Do you think that has made it difficult for you to go past a certain
Hierarchy in the industry,
I
almost.
won't call hierarchy, but something அது என்ன ஒரு பவுண்டரின்னு அது சொல்லுவேன் ஹைராக்கின்னு சொல்லி அதுக்கு ஒரு இது கொடுக்க எனக்கு விருப்பம் இல்லை I don't want to name that but something and you like you said you mentioned you made peace with it. That's very important, right?
Yeah, but it took me like a long time to get there. It took me a very long time to get there.
Was it difficult for you that period?
I always felt like I never fit in and I didn't belong and I didn't want to be here and I wanted to.
Have you ever questioned yourself like am I the problem?
All the time.
Really?
In the sense, not that I am the problem. It's just, how do I say? Fish out of water, It's...
And have you tried to fit in and there'll be a point you're like, no, I can't do
I
this.
tried to fit in also.
Yeah.
Then I realized that no, I can't. So stop trying. Thankfully for me, that coincided with the whole shift in Tamil cinema itself, where, they suddenly started... I won't say that it's never happened because I think the 80s and 90s was a great time with Balu Mahendra sir and all of, they were writing some really great things for women.
Mm-hmm.
Then something changed in between. And now I feel it's getting balanced again. There is more interesting work for women now.
Mm.
But in between, I don't think that was the case at all.
So how did you get past through that? I mean, were there a friend to help you or like you helped yourself?
See, luckily for me, music helped me. Unlike most actors, I have my music to turn to.
Yeah, that's so
and I'm
true.
really, really grateful for that because whenever I'm feeling like I'm not getting the kind of work I want to be doing, I just don't do the work. I don't have to. I don't have the pressure because, I don't have the pressure of working to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I'd rather do shows which make me happy
Which
you know,
makes others happy.
makes
30,000
others
people.
happy. So I'm really lucky and blessed in that way. I feel very blessed that I have this to turn to. It's only music that saves me over and over and over again.
So if someone right now, someone like you is struggling, they're not able to fit in or they're not able to do certain things and they see the other people doing it and like rightly you said, you can't take away the brain or the brain functioning system out of your body and go to work. In the kind of problem, இதெல்லாம் ஒரு real problem தெரியுமா? Everybody will, there'll be people who are going through this.
100%.
And somehow,
I'm not the only one,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, everybody. And sometimes, I also feel, நாமெல்லாம் எப்படி இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்தோம்
Yeah.
இந்த மூளையை வச்சுக்கிட்டு எப்படி திவ்யா எப்படி திடீர்னு இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்த மாதிரி you'll have this sometimes you're very grateful sometimes like why then you'll
But
blame
here's
yourself.
the deal. Here's the deal. And this
Yeah.
is something I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for. I've always questioned. I was like, why, God? Why did you keep me here? You could have kept me somewhere else where things made sense to me and I could have interacted better. It's like if you're trying to sell fish to a group of people who are vegetarians, for example, why would anyone do that? It makes no sense, right? It's just a random example,
yeah.
but you get where I'm coming from. Or you sell pearls to someone who only wears diamonds. They're not going to appreciate the pearl.
No.
It's as simple as that. Then I realized that, maybe we, a lot of other women in the industry who maybe are in the same boat, maybe you're meant to be here to shake things up and make it easier for people who come after you.
Like for example, I'll tell you, till now, if I was doing this show for another channel or anybody, I wouldn't have been allowed to ask these questions. They would have pressured me to ask,
But
how
you-
was it working with this person?
100%.
How
I
is
agree.
it? When are you going to work with this person?
But you have to do all of that to be in a position to launch
so
your own show.
I have no regrets at all.
the-
I have no regrets doing that. So அதுலயே வந்துட்டு what I will think like, okay, இதுதானே கேட்கணும், இதே நான் எப்படி மாத்தி இன்னும் எப்படி கம்ஃபர்டபுளா அவங்கள ஆக்கி கேட்க முடியும். அதுக்கு நடுவுல அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாம I'll put in my own question. From there I will navigate it to this question. The answer இப்படி வர மாதிரி. So somebody who's watching, who's young, who sometimes you have to give in a little bit. அது ஒரு blend தான். How much is not too much ங்கிறது you have to figure it out. That you will figure it out as you with the experience of working. So I think you shouldn't just close yourself. This is an ecosystem. There are certain things will happen that way. You have to figure out a way
to forge your own path.
Yeah, get that 50%, get yours 50% into it and make a new path, or a new level. The first level is the second level. Now 1.5 level only you have to figure it out by yourself.
Just like you're doing this, which is great. I'm starting to write my own stuff and
Wow.
Yeah, hopefully
So
something clicks soon.
So what do you write?
Like
what-
scripts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's a nice thing to hear.
I'm also co-producing a film that I'm acting in now. So a lot of, I think when I went through a phase in the past couple of years, I think, where films that I did that really mattered to me didn't get released for a bunch of reasons, some which I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Then it makes you wonder, like, why did I work so hard? And, as an actor, the only thing you want is appreciation and validation. As an artist, not just as an actor, as any artist.
You do that, you want somebody...
Money, everything comes
second.
after that.
I mean, if we say that, people will not believe it.
No, but that's the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Money வந்துட்டு காசு கொடுக்குறவங்களே மேம் ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணீங்க ஆனா எங்ககிட்ட 5,000 ரூபாய் கம்மியா இருக்குன்னா பரவாயில்லைங்க you know
it
you
doesn't
will
matter.
take, yeah.
What you want is that appreciation and validation for the work you're doing. So when you don't get that, it does something. And it did something to me. And I thought about, okay, maybe I should just not do this anymore. And, this and that. And then I went through my own little struggles in my own head. And as always, music saved me. I had so many great shows happening. It not only paid the bills, it also made me feel still relevant, because that's a very big thing, you know, out of
relevance
sight,
is-
out of
yeah,
mind.
Yeah, true.
So,
relevance.
you know, that was, I still have people saying, man, why are we not seeing you in more movies? And what answer do I give them? It's not in my hands.
Yeah.
You know, films are stuck for their own reasons. So then I decided that, you know what, you have to learn from these experiences.
You have to.
And I decided to set up my own production house, and we're co-producing a film that I'm acting in, also working on scripts. So hopefully I will be a part of the change that I want to see. There's no
Yes.
other way to go about it.
Definitely. So when you're like sad or like heartbroken, how do you manage that? How do you handle that? You think you're good at, I mean, nobody can be good at it, but
I go in, I cut off, and I mostly just go in to myself, feel everything, very tough sometimes. And these huge questions about what is the point of it all, you know? There's a lot of things. It's amazing how I don't know, it's a very random example, but this was just like in the recent past when I was having a tough day, and I was like, nothing in your life makes sense sometimes, right? It's just that's just the way it is. And to cheer myself up, I went to the parlor, and I'm not someone who takes a lot of effort to dress up and all. And especially if I'm going to the parlor, I look like some homeless person. I just go in whatever clothes I'm wearing. And I was just there. And this woman I don't know at all looked at me, smiled at me, said, "Oh, such a pretty girl." And I was like, wow, that's what she sees, but that's not what I'm feeling. That's the dichotomy, I think, of
Yeah.
being, in the entertainment industry. A lot of times, what people see you as is really not what you're feeling at all.
At all.
People will look at you, they think you're gorgeous, glamorous, successful, and you might feel the very opposite of all those things. And what they're seeing is true, and what you're feeling is also true.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the
That's like
yeah.
they might see you as a beautiful girl. You might feel so ugly.
At that point in
At
your
that
life,
point,
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
perfect oxymoron on the.
And you can't even try to make sense of these things.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with gratitude. It has nothing to do with any of that. But I think it's
How do you
deal
pass
with
through
that.
deal with that.
So I've started, really looking at things that help me feel grounded, and I listen to a lot of guided meditations, and I do these timeouts, away from life, and just nature is a very, very beautiful grounding experience, and I have my dog.
Yeah.
Who I'm going to bring on. I don't know. I'm going to get him now.
Yes,
He
you
has
should.
been a real life changer for
You. So
best
let's have
life decision
Yeah.
ever. I got him during the lockdown, which was a really bad time for
there was
us
like
all.
there was a sign you were going through some silent battle by yourself.
Yes, I was. So just after Varachana, actually, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune skin condition that I never spoke
Skin
about.
condition for an actor.
For an actor, exactly. So I was like, every day I would wake up, and my hair on my head was not white, but my eyebrow hairs were turning white. My eyelashes turning white. And every day some new patch would come up. And it's crazy. All the blood tests came out normal. Everything is normal. There's nothing wrong with me. Why is this happening? Nobody knows. Doctor says maybe it's a reaction to a toxin that we don't know about, or it's what is it called? Emotional stress. I'm like, well, I can't be in this industry and not experience stress. Every time you do a role, it takes something out of you. And so, I had to really pull back again, and did a retreat. And it's really amazing how I come out of that retreat and the whole media and industry is like, oh, she went through a depression because of some man and this and that. I'm like, dudes, I went to a retreat because I'm dealing with a skin condition that I'm choosing not to talk about.
yeah.
And that's my choice. I don't need to talk about it because, you know,
Absolutely.
what people don't understand is when these things happen, it takes you at least a year to even come to terms with what's happening. I'm sure
Come
you've
to term-
experienced
yeah,
that, right?
Come to term with it, to even understand what it is, because you know you go to a doctor thinking, okay, unku vandu jaundice
Not a doctor. You go to some 12
Yeah.
doctors and they each tell you, yeah.
And what do you expect when you go to a doctor? Like, for
Exactly.
example, you go to a doctor, you have viral fever, you have jaundice, you have typhoid, so and so and so. When we go to a doctor, when you have an autoimmune condition, the doctor's like, we don't know, everything is perfect in your blood report,
Yeah.
but we don't know why you have that problem. Just imagine you hear this from like
Yeah, there's
dozens
no
and dozens of
reason
doctors.
why your body is turning against you, but it's turning against you.
The only way you can make it work is you look into
Inward,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, into it. And for that, to get that mindset, it takes a lot of time.
So yeah, and then you think it's the end of your life as you
Yeah.
know it. You think it's
Because
the-
you don't know what's going to
it's
happen.
the end of your career because how do you function with all of those things? And soon after that we went into after that we went into lockdown, which I mean, so it just like my whatever good work I got out of my retreat went out the window again. But I'm always looking like a positive person on the
yeah.
outside because I think, hey man, I'm just having an autoimmune skin condition. There are people with no food on their table. I'm that person.
That's the
I
only way we
think-
can go
I
forward.
think
you
my
know?
problems are never big enough compared to other people who have real,
There's always somebody with
yeah.
a bigger problem.
so I don't talk about my problems, and I think, deal with it. That's the way I've been brought up. So I never spoke about it, and it's been a long time. I never spoke about it, partly by choice, and then after that I just, I'm not very dark skinned, so it didn't show up much. Though there are still some patches. I tried everything. Acupuncture really worked for me, and I did it for a good 2 years. And then after 2 whole years of doing acupuncture, my doctor requested me to mention it on my Instagram to help, I see kids who come there with, these kids are autistic, they're all coming there. So it's worked for me, it's working for them. So I said, okay, let me talk about this on Instagram without mentioning my
Yeah.
own. And a lot of people were like, oh, you're promoting pseudoscience. And, they become... Sometimes people make it really hard for you to speak your truth.
True.
Like, bro,
It's
there
better
are
to be
people. There are people out there promoting all kinds of things because they're getting paid to do it. I am not getting paid to promote acupuncture. I'm trying to help someone out there who might have tried traditional medicine and it didn't work for them.
yeah.
And this might work for them.
You never know.
And if I'm there to validate that experience, so be it. But people don't get that. So then all these reasons are the reasons why people like me don't want to talk about things like this. But it does break my heart because I see a lot of young girls, for example, children with, the same skin condition that I have. And they're going to grow up feeling less beautiful or just less.
Yeah.
And they don't need to. And I want to go and tell people that, like, hey man, it takes some time to get used to, but if I can work through it, so can you. And this is, I guess, the first time I'm actually talking about it. Also, I have to say, I've not really been affected by it as badly as I still have some remainders like a patch here and, lashes, which it's easy to cover with mascara. And I do have some small patches on my foot and my body and here and there. But for the most part, I feel like I have overcome it. And a lot of that is change in lifestyle, cutting down on work. Like I can't work nonstop because it'll show on my skin. Immediately it'll show on my skin. And my dog.
Why don't we have
Dog,
a hero?
My dog,
He
my
helped
dog
you,
was
right?
he didn't help me, he saved me. He saved me. You won't believe this. After that dog came into my life, new patches stopped coming. They just stopped coming. And it was easy to cover the patches that I already had with makeup.
With makeup.
And I was able to shoot with it. I did Master, I did Pisastu, I did all these films with that condition. Nobody knew about it, you know. And since I discovered acupuncture, it's kind of reversed the
Effect of it.
like so the existing patches have reduced and all of that. But Jon Snow saved my life. Not saved my life, but you know, he saved me. That's it.
He was your anchor through
He
it.
was my anchor through it all. And once I got him, yeah, that's amazing.
Let's have him.
Yes,
I'm very excited to see Jon Snow.
Oh yeah, you've never met him.
No, never met him.
Oh, he's the real star, not me. So excited.
What happened? What happened? Okay, okay. என்னடா வேணும் உனக்கு? என்னடா?
He wants cuddles and
Snow,
come here,
Snow
Pattu.
White baby.
Jon Snow, inga va. Come here.
What a nice, handsome
You're
boy.
handsomest boy in the world.
Achha.
Most handsome. What is this? Wearing your bow. This is Jon Snow.
Hi, say hi to everybody. Okay. Eh, he's settled. I don't think we should trouble him. Are you okay? Okay, so this is
Jon Snow.
வந்த உடனே அப்படியே ஒரு இது மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டாரு ட்விஸ்ட் மாதிரி he went
Tornado.
Yeah.
Little cuddly. Say hi to everyone.
Hi. Jon Snow, you're a savior, you're like a warrior. What are
He
you?
really is.
You.
Dang. Show your handsome face to everyone. Okay.
No, hairstyle எவ்வளவு அழகா இருக்கு அவருக்கு. Pretty
You know, if I want to go to the spa, நான் இன்னைக்கு கால் பண்ணா நாளைக்கு appointment கிடைச்சிடும். Jon Snow spa you have to book 1 week in advance. Yeah.
அதான் குசும்பு.
It's a dog's life, Didi.
Yeah, I wish.
It's a dog's life. But yeah, I've grown up around dogs when we were kids, also had dogs. But, you know, when you have a one-on-one connection with a dog, it's a very different experience. Family pet is very different. So yeah, I really...
And when you're going through something, you know,
Yeah.
all alone by yourself, when they come into your
Yeah,
life,
they really
change it, right?
They really change everything.
And the responsibility of mothering another human, I mean, another
Living
being,
Yeah,
it changes, right?
it does. It's the best, but if I travel now after 5-6 days, I'll start missing him. Sometimes he'll come in my dream.
Oh, true.
Yes, you're my dream boy.
So he gets all nice stuff from all over the world. இவருக்கு full gifts வரும் wherever you
Yes,
travel.
Of course.
So you are the boy that she always goes shopping for.
Kutti paposh.
So how much do you love traveling?
A lot.
What's the one thing that travel has taught you or changed your perspective about it? It can be anything. Just one thing.
I think, yeah, that's a great thing about travel. That, you know, when you're in your life and you're stuck and you're like thinking about your problems, when you travel, you realize how vast the world is and there are so many different people leading different lives. It does something to you. It opens up something in you, and then you come back to your own life with a fresh perspective. I think that's the best thing about travel.
What's your favorite destination? Like this far you've traveled.
It keeps changing, you know. Like
Okay,
earlier,
some nice memory, your best memory, if you
I
can.
have.
In
I
which
used to love going to London, but post lockdown, I really just started going towards the islands. Bali. I did a solo trip in Bali.
How fun is a solo trip?
It's the best. Don't have to deal with anyone else's nata. You know, it's very difficult. The more number of people you travel with, the less you get done. Because by the time everyone gets ready and goes,
Yeah.
ayyo, ma.
You need a lot of patience if you're traveling in a group, you know.
Can't deal with that. I love solo travel, really. And it's the best way to spend time with yourself as well. The only thing is I miss you.
Next time you can also go.
Yeah. It's interesting how pet friendly the world is becoming, airlines and hotels and everything. So pretty soon,
With him.
yeah, we're going to do a trip soon. We go to the hills.
Okay.
Snow gets an annual. During the lockdown, Snow traveled more than most people.
Snow?
We went to Ooty, we went to Kodai.
How did you get to
isn't
do
it?
that snow?
All car trips.
Oh, God trip. Oops. Okay, baby. ஒன்னும் பண்ணல.
Okay, ma.
You want rubs?
All my friends will say, பிறந்தா ஆண்டியோட நாயா பிறக்கணும். Yes.
So how important is friendship for you, Andrea? How long do you take to become friends with someone?
It
To call them a friend? Because
It takes
as far as
years.
I know, you're not someone who's like, இன்னைக்கு பார்த்தோம் நாளைக்கு நாங்க friend ஆயிட்டோம். You're not that type, no?
No, I'm not that
Yeah, that's good.
I think it takes years to make a friendship and minutes to break one. That's the sad truth about
it. Yeah.
about friendships. But
Everybody talks about, heartbreaks with your significant other, your partner.
you can have just as much heartache with a friend.
Friendship, right?
Very
When your
true.
friendship breaks.
Very, very, very true. You know, like people say, you don't get to choose your family, but you get to choose your friends. And especially as you grow older, I think like one of my friends will say, a membership is closed. Okay. Membership is closed. That's it.
That's a nice,
Only if
nice thing.
one of the members exits, there's space for one new member to come in. Otherwise, it's because people don't realize the amount of time and energy it takes to actually cultivate a friendship.
Friendship, yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to talk every day. There are lots of great friendships that, maybe you don't see each other for months or years. And then when you see them, you just pick up where you left off. But அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு 10 வருஷமா you would have, invested to get to that point. Yes, exactly. Yes.
And with women also, as you grow older, that where you pick up from where
Especially for single women.
Yeah, single women.
Half your female friends get married and then they have these
kids,
different priorities in
yeah.
life. It's at some point in my 30s, I lost pretty much all my female friends.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that happens to quite a few single
it
women
happened
out
to
there.
me as well.
Exactly.
And then, and then the kids grow up to a certain age and then they come back. Because when they're like infants or
Exactly.
you also can't do that. You can't expect. It's not fair of you
Exactly.
as well. So after a point when it comes back, again there's another level of friendship and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
But one thing I've learned in my 30s for sure is the best friend you can really count on is yourself. And the more people, that's why I think solo travel is a great thing for single women especially. It really gives you the time and space to just be with yourself, Like how you want to spend time with your friends, it's good to spend time with yourself as well. It's really important.
Yeah, true. I think so. We've covered most of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been a nice 1 hour. So this song, we almost finished the interview. Just now, it hit me that I didn't ask her to sing a song.
Okay, what song do you want? Or
Your song?
It's going to fall. You like Google, no?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll sing Google for Didi.
Okay.
Okay. Google பண்ணி பார்த்தேன் உலகத்தில் இவன் போல ஒரு கிறுக்கனு பிறந்ததில்ல. யாஹூ பண்ணி பார்த்தேன் இவனை போல எந்த கிரகத்திலும் இன்னொருத்தன் கிடைக்கவில்லை. நான் டேட்டிங் கேட்டா வச்ச பார்த்து ஓகே சொன்னானே, ஷாப்பிங் கேட்டா eBay.com கூட்டி போனானே, மூவி கேட்டேன் யூடியூப் போட்டு பக்கம் தந்தானே, பாவமா நிக்கிறேன் ஊரே விக்கிறேன். Okay.
Thank you. 1 hour போனதே தெரியல. So my final thing is, I have 12 questions, okay? You can pick your own question.
Rapid fire.
No.
Oh.
You just need to read
Oh, I have to read them and pick them. Okay.
Pick one. One of
Only
your-
one question.
Yeah.
Avladana.
Yes.
So easy. My. All good questions, Didi. It's very tough to pick one.
Thank you. But yeah, you have to only pick one. There's no rapid fire. It's like pick your own question.
Okay, I'll be old school.
Okay.
And
You're gonna pick number?
4.
Let me read that.
What values do you prioritize?
Yes. What values do you prioritize in your life?
Yeah, I think that's a very valid question for people today. You know, the world is changing so much on a daily basis. And for me, the one quality or value that I keep going back to is integrity. You know, I think everything else, every good quality is either a part of integrity. It like honesty, you know,
It
loyalty.
has a shade of it.
It always the umbrella for all of that is integrity. And sadly, that's something that people
Very rare.
just don't have anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it died or how it's dying. But integrity just doesn't seem to be a thing anymore,
Yeah.
you know? And I think for me, that is the most valuable quality a human being can have. Because integrity doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. It means that you own up to them.
Yeah.
That's integrity. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means you see yourself for who you are and own up to your flaws and mistakes and work on yourself constantly, you know, and be a person of your word. Something, again, that's very non-existent in today's world. So yeah, I would choose integrity over and over again.
Yes. That's nice. So yeah, lovely. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely chat with you, Andrea. I'm sure people get to see this new side of you.
Handsome. Sorry.
And hope they liked it. Hope you all liked it. And
We'll find out soon.
don't say such things to me, Andrea. Please, I'm trying here. Please watch. Please watch.
Before we end, I would like to say that I remember I've seen you, of course. We've done our interviews on Vijay TV long ago, Coffee with Didi and all of that jazz. You're just, for me at that time, you were just, you know, just another sparkly human being in this industry. Pretty girl who witty, you know, bubbly, all of that jazz. Then I remember seeing a post of yours on Instagram where you held up these placards, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, that takes a lot of courage to talk about a divorce and your arthritis that you were going through. It takes a lot of courage. And I had so much of respect for you in that one moment, you know, like the bubbly Didi for me is just, you know, whatever. But that version of Didi that I saw that day, I had so much respect for you. And I really wanted to say, I think you're just doing a fantastic job. There are so many people who would have just gone, like, you know, into oblivion, gone into hiding rather. It's so easy to hide behind your problems or things like that. But you've stuck it out, you've braved it all, and you're still here in spite of all the challenges and hardships that you've faced. And I want to say just well done, woman.
Thank you, my dear lady. Thank you
That's
so
all.
much for that. And
Jon Snow says so
yeah.
too.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I need your blessings. Thank you.
He's coming to give you kisses.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
da.
sure.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye. So bye, guys. We'll see you some other time. Until then, love.